Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be working on our 2001 Dodge Ram 1500. It is a two-wheel drive. We're going to be doing bearing and hub assembly on both sides. We got quite a bit to actually do this truck. I've had this truck for years, not been driving it much hardly, and it needs a lot. We're going to do some brake calipers. That'll be another video, shocks, tie rod ends, just some stuff that needs to be done to it. And also, I put a video up on a restored 78 Jeep Renegade. I told everyone, you know, if you can guess how much is in it, whoever gets the closest to it, I'd mention in my next video. Only one person has took a guess, so I'm going to recognize that person. It's ERX Wasted X, I think, if I remember right. He guessed 50,000, and it's got a little over 51 in it. So, good job on getting close to that. But anyway, a little bit here. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people, these spindle nuts, they automatically think they got to break them loose before they lift the truck off the ground. You do on a bunch of vehicles, but this one right here, being two-wheel drive, you don't have to do that because this spindle right here is actually stationary. It doesn't move, so you can actually lift the truck up off the ground and break this with a hand tool. That ain't gonna be a problem. It's the same for the 25 and 3500 trucks, two-wheel drives, and we will actually discuss y'all's torque specs as well throughout the video, and I'm actually gonna show you them torque specs right now. All right, we got our two-wheel drive sealed hub bearing nut. Your light-duty 1500 series is 185 foot-pounds. Your heavy-duty 35-3500 series, 280 foot-pounds. All right, your caliper adapter bolts, that's front 2000 and later models. Your 1500s is 130 foot-pounds, and your 25 and 3500, 210 foot-pounds. Okay, I know it says caliper adapter bolts, but a lot of your manuals will say bracket, but on this manual it says adapter bolts. And if you're unsure about that, you can look up here. It says caliper mounting bolts. Right there. 38 foot-pounds. For 99 earlier models, 2000 later, 24 foot-pounds. So that's how you can kind of double check yourself, because some people would think caliper adapter bolts means the actual caliper, but it's actually the bracket. And that, you can look over here, you know a caliper bolt's not going to be 130 or 210 foot-pounds. Anyway, we're going to get started on this and get this knocked out. This is actually one of the easiest hub bearing assemblies you can install, because you're going to have two bolts and one nut. That's it. After you take the wheel off, that's all there is to it, because it's not like some of your hub bearings that's got the, like on the 2500 four-wheel drive, it's got the 4 bolts holding in the hub. It's got the hub, you know, fastened the hub down. And this one right here, just, it's no bolts actually holding the hub down. The only thing that holds it down is a spindle nut. So it's going to be one of the fastest, easiest applications whenever you're replacing your hub bearing assembly. Alright, first thing you're going to do is break your lug nuts loose, jack the truck up, take the wheel off. Alright, next you want to break your brake caliper bracket loose. And it's 2 bolts. There's one. It's the one a little bit bigger than your caliper bolt for your bracket. It's one. And right there's 2. And that takes a 21 millimeter. That's one. And that's the second one. Next, take your pry bar, wedge it in your brake caliper bracket, right here between the rotor, just like so. Just push out. Enough to break it loose, that's all you need. And then get your little bungee cord ready so you can hang your brake caliper. We'll hang it right there. There. Make sure it's not pulling on your line or stretching on it, your brake line. All right, next we're gonna break this right here loose. You can use a hand tool, like I said, to break this loose with the truck jacked up because it is a stationary spindle. Let's remove this rotor first. Get the tear out of the way. Got the tear out of the way. And spindle nut's going to be a 35 millimeter. Next, all you should be able to do is pull this hub and bearing assembly off. Actually, nothing wrong with this one, but they've been on there for 15 years, so it'll eventually go out. All right, get you a wire brush, clean up all around your spindle where your bearing seats. Get it all good and cleaned up, and wipe it down, and apply a small amount of grease. You want that bearing to slide on there fairly easy, so when you get torquing it down, you'll get the proper torque specs. Dang yellow jacket coming at me. I think there's an S in this truck somewhere. I've done killed a bunch, but they're still coming out of the woodworks. All right, next we'll slide our new bearing on. And a brand new spindle nut. If you notice, it says right there, do not reuse. So anytime you do this, always get a new one. 2 for like 12 bucks. So it's not breaking the bank exactly. Cut this down a little bit. Alright. Now all we gotta do is torque this down. Torque your spindle nut to 185 foot-pounds. Alright, if you're driving, if you're working on the 25 and 3500 models, 2-wheel drives, you will torque this spindle nut down to 280 foot-pounds. And I do get all my specs. I don't get none of my specs online. I get them all from the manuals and you know, the repair manuals and everything. And if I don't have it in there for any reason, which That's only happened every once. I will call the dealership and talk to them and get them to give me the torque spec, or I use reliable sources is what I'm trying to say. Alright, next you want to put on some anti-seize so your rotor, next time you got to take your rotor off, it don't get stuck rusted on there. Go all the way around. Don't get crazy thick with it, just spread it all out just enough to keep it from seizing up on there. Got a little too much on here really, but it'll be fine. Alright, put your rotor on. Grab a lug nut. Throw it on here, that'll hold it in place. Alright, reason why I got you to put your lug nut on your rotor, so when you put your brake caliper on, this rotor will stay still. Makes life a lot easier. Pretty much fits like a glove. Alright, put some Loctite on your brake caliper bracket bolts. That's one. You're going to want to torque your brake caliper bracket bolts down to 130 foot-pounds. If you have the 25 or 3500, you want to go to 210 foot-pounds. Last but not least, put your wheel back on and torque your lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds. The manual calls for 95 foot-pounds on your lug nuts. I just go 100. So if you want to follow the manual to exact, go 95. But I do all my vehicles at 100 except for the diesel. I crank it on up even more. After you get your lug nuts torqued down though, set the vehicle down. Well, actually need to lower your vehicle to the ground, then torque them down to 95 or 100 foot-pounds. But after that, go driving. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you don't mind, hit the like button so my video will get out there. And if you want to, you can subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. God bless.